You can't sit on a lead and run a few plays into the line and just kill the clock. You've got to throw the ball over the damn plate and give the other man his chance. That's why baseball is the greatest game of them all. In baseball, you can't kill the clock. You've got to give the other man his chance. That's why this is the greatest game. The key to winning baseball games is pitching, fundamentals, and 3-run homers. Momentum. Momentum is the next day's starting pitcher. Don't worry, the fans don't start booing until July. On my tombstone just write, the sorest loser that ever lived. This ain't a football game, we do this every day. When you play for 1 run, that's usually all you get. I have nothing against the bunt in its place, but most of the time, that place is in the bottom of a long-forgotten closet. The job of arguing with the umpire belongs to the manager, because it won't hurt the team if he gets thrown out of the game. People always make a lot about how I don't carry grudges. That's my religious upbringing. I went 9 years without missing Sunday school. Lutheran. I can't live with hatred inside of me. That's what I learned. I ain't scared of dying, either. Nobody likes to hear it, because it's dull, but the reason you win or lose is darn near always the same: pitching. Your most precious possessions on offense are your 27 outs. There ain't no genius here. Strategy in baseball is overrated. People say, that Weaver, he plays for the long ball too much. You bet I do. Hit 'em out. Then I got no worry about somebody lousing up a bunt. I got no worry about the hit and run, and that's really overrated. I got no worry about base running errors, and I can't screw it up myself. I became an optimist when I discovered that I wasn't going to win any more games by being anything else. No one's gonna give a damn in July if you lost a game in March. I think the National League has better biorhythms in July. You must remember that anyone under 30, especially a ball player, is an adolescent. I never got close to being an adult until I was 32. Even though I was married and had a son at 20, I was a kid at 32, living at home with my parents. Sure, I was a manager then. That doesn't mean you're grown up. I don't want to spend my whole life watching the sun go down behind the left field bleachers. Most of the umpires, it's amazing, 98% of them will not hold a grudge. I always felt a couple of them did. I never wanted to argue with an umpire in my life. If an umpire misses a called third strike and the other side ends up scoring because of it, I'm not going to forget it. If there are runners on second and third and 2 out, and if the umpire has just given the hitter an extra strike and the next pitch goes into the hole and both runs score, I've got to say something to the guy. A manager's job is simple. For 162 games you try not to screw up all that smart stuff your organization did last December. A manager should stay as far away as possible from his players. I don't know if I said 10 words to Frank Robinson while he played for me. Coaches are an integral part of any manager's team, especially if they are good pinnacle players. I think there should be bad blood between all clubs. The only thing that matters is what happens on the little hump out in the middle of the field. You win pennants in the off-season when you build your teams with trades and free agents. The key step for an infielder is the first one, to the left or right, but before the ball is hit. I had a successful career, not necessarily a Hall of Fame career, but a successful one. In my mind, the home run is paramount because it means instant runs. There are only 3 outs an inning, and they should be treasured. Give one away, and you're making everything harder for yourself. The Orioles made me. I didn't make the Orioles. The guy who says, "I love the challenge of managing," is one step from being out of a job. Playing baseball is fun. If I could play, I'd never retire. But managing is work. It's constant decisions of whose feelings you want to hurt all the time. A manager gets in the Hall of Fame by what his players have done for him. I really don't like confrontations. One of the reasons I'm retiring is that I'm tired of hurting people's feelings. I wanted no part of losing. Why play if you can't beat the other guys more often than they beat you? To keep your job, you fire others or bench them or trade them. You have to do the thinking for 25 guys, and you can't be too close to any of them. Until you're the person that other people fall back on, until you're the one that's leaned on, not the person doing the leaning, you're not an adult. I stand by my belief that individual performances are the most important part of baseball. I used to be a pretty good hit-and-run man when I played in the minors. I handled the bat well and could hit the ball to the right side of the infield. Nevertheless, I know that you often give the opposition an out on the hit and run play. Don't play for one run unless you know that run will win a ball game. The key step for an infielder is the first one, but before the ball is hit. The only thing I'd ever wanted in my life was to be a major league ball player, but I had to admit to myself that I wasn't good enough. It broke my heart. Pitching keeps you in the games. Home runs win the game. A manager wins games in the winter when he picks his team. The easiest way around the bases is with one swing of the bat. Bad ballplayers make good managers. A manager has to convince his hitters that they have to get on base for the next guy and that no player can do it by himself. Sometimes that isn't easy. In the playoffs, you can get into trouble because everybody wants to be a hero. Judging ballplayers and turning in reports, giving my opinion of who will get to the big leagues and who will not. I think my baseball judgment was really good. A winning player is nothing more than a player on a winning team. A losing player is a guy who played on a losing team that year. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.